Well, hello everybody, welcome to Jeff's Baking Blog. Today I'm going to be making some butter cookies, and I'm going to be making those using a cookie press. I did some chocolate shortbread ones a while back and they were very well received, so I thought I'll do these. Quite a simple recipe. I'm going to be making a mixture that would make about 72 cookies if you use a single press of the cookie press, but I'm actually going to be using a double press in some instances just to make slightly larger ones and see how they turn out. So for my ingredients, I have 250 grams of flour, 100 grams of caster sugar. I use caster sugar simply because it's a finer grind than the granulated sugar. Half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1 medium egg, in the United States that would be a large egg, and 170 grams of softened butter. Now the first thing to do is to whisk the butter with the sugar, cream it together until it's nice and fluffy. That may take a couple of minutes. Okay, so that's all nicely combined. Then I'm going to pour in the vanilla extract and the egg, and I'm going to whisk those as well until they're combined. Now I should say I have my oven preheating at 180 Celsius fan. That's 200 Celsius without a fan, 400 Fahrenheit. And I have some baking sheets in the fridge chilling, and I'm not going to grease them or paper them at all. I'm going to put the cookies straight onto the baking sheets when they're ready. So we'll just whisk this together, then we'll add the flour and we're all ready to go. Okay, that's fine. So now we just add the flour and just mix it until it's all combined. Okay, so that's our mixture. Still quite soft. That's fine. I want to get all this batter out if I can. That's good. And then we're going to put this into our cookie press. So I have the press here, and I have my plates. I've decided to use 3. One is supposed to be a buttercup, one is a sunflower, and one is a shell. We'll soon see, won't we? So, I think I'll start with the sunflower. Simply put that in the bottom, and then take some of the batter and push it into our press. Any way you can. I'm putting it in from the bottom like this, so that I try to avoid air bubbles as it comes out. You can put it in from the top, but it's the same aperture, so it's not going to make any difference. One more amount. And that will be it. Okay. So then we screw on our press. I'll just wipe my hands. And then what we're going to do is just give it, well, I can see that some's come out, so I can just take that off. That means that we're ready to go. And I'm going to give 2 presses down and see how that turns out. 1, 2. 1, 2. 2. Okay, so I've done some of these sunflower ones. I've done some larger ones and some small ones, and then I've done some of the seashells. That's a bit silly, so that can come off, and that's got too much on it, so that bit can come off there as well. Now, what I'm going to do with the sunflowers is just drop half a glacé cherry into the centre. These are Morello glacé cherries, which are my favourites. They have a nice cherry almondy type flavour. And I'm only going to do it, I think, on the larger ones. Oops. Just for something different. Now I'm going to pop these into the oven for 8 to 10 minutes until the edges just begin to turn golden brown. And then I'll take them out. I'll let them cool for a couple of minutes before I put them onto a cooling rack. And then I'll do the next lot and I'll come back and show you the results. Well, hello everybody. I'm back. Now, when I left you, I pressed out the cookies and was putting them in the oven. It's now the following day. I got rather tied up after the cookies baked, watching the World 2020 cricket from India, and I'm about to start watching it again, so I thought I'd better get this video finished before the England match starts. So it also means, of course, that some of my cookies have been devoured, rather more than I should perhaps. My recipe, as I was saying before, will make about 72 cookies of this size. If you make them of a larger size by double pressing on the cookie press, you'll get fewer. If you want the larger ones and you still want sort of a few dozen, then you can double the recipe quite easily. So I made a few shapes, this sort of buttercup shape that is supposed to be. This is a sunflower shape. These are the sunflower shapes, larger with a cherry in, and this is a shell shape. They taste wonderful, especially with a cup of tea. So we'll have a little sip of tea. And we could have a bite of that, or we could just pop it straight into our mouth. Tasty buttery shortbread, nice and crunchy, and it goes perfect with tea. So, I'm going to have one of these with a cherry in, I think. A cup of tea needs more than one of those small ones, don't you think? Well, that's it for this recipe. Sorry it's taken longer than it should have done to get it all sorted out. But if you've liked it, please click on the thumbs up below the video and click to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And there's a link to that below the video on YouTube as well. Or in fact, there's also a link at the top of the screen here, a little eye. If you click on that, it will take you direct to the recipe, so you can see the recipe quite easily. So if you've enjoyed it all, as I hope you have, please do subscribe, and I'll be back with you with another recipe in the very near future. So until then, happy baking. Well, hello everybody, welcome to Jeff's Baking Blog. Today I'm going to be making some butter cookies, and I'm going to be making those using a cookie press. I did some chocolate shortbread ones a while back and they were very well received, so I thought I'll do these. Quite a simple recipe. I'm going to be making a mixture that would make about 72 cookies if you use a single press of the cookie press, but I'm actually going to be using a double press in some instances just to make slightly larger ones and see how they turn out. So for my ingredients, I have 250 grams of flour, 100 grams of caster sugar. I use caster sugar simply because it's a finer grind than the granulated sugar. Half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1 medium egg, in the United States that would be a large egg, and 170